Oh yes, I'm excited. The first season finale. Take Me Back to Hell. Lucifer Season 1, Episode 13. Woo! Good lord. This series has just knocked me for a loop. For the life of me, I cannot fully, explain, how excited I am for this episode, because the last one was a fucking whirlwind.
It was good.
Yeah. And this one, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just like, there's so many things that can happen. I'm just like, ooh, yes. And plus this title, Take Me Back to Hell. I don't know if they're talking about Lucifer, or if they're talking about Amenadiel, or if they're talking about Malcolm. But
I'm assuming it's going to be Malcolm, because,
Well, I mean, if there's one person right now who does deserve to go to hell for their actions, it's him, definitely.
I'm surprised Lucifer didn't snatch that fucking coin like I was talking about.
Yeah, that coin I think is going to come back to bite him in the ass. I think it's going to come back to bite him in the ass. I don't know. But all I know is that there's a lot of pieces in play. You have Amenadiel, you have Maze, you have Chloe, you have all of these people, and none of them are on good terms with Lucifer right now. Especially Chloe and Maze, because Maze is just given up on both of them.
Maze is over it.
Of course she is. Wouldn't
fair.
you be over it if the two men that you trusted most, or two people that you trusted most in your life, were fighting, and one of them was because, they had feelings for you and didn't know how to properly express it, and the other one, you felt was using you and didn't care about you anymore?
It was like your duty to protect.
Yeah. It's like fuck the both of you. Here. Kill each other. Honestly, it's pretty much like, nah, it's okay. No, it actually is kind of an equivalent thing. It was the whole thing with my mom and my dad when they were fighting all the time. And I remembered, I had a literal heart-to-heart with my mom about it. And I was just like, Mom, I don't want you and Dad to fight anymore. So, if you all have been talking about getting divorced for the last year and a half, 2 years...
just do it.
Just go ahead and get it over with. And I hated it, the fact that my parents were getting divorced, but at the same time, I didn't want them to fight anymore.
People always try to stay together for the kids, but at some point, that's not the best thing you can do anymore.
I think... Well, no, and the truth is, the kid suffers more from you staying together than they ever would from you two being apart. And look, I love my mom and my dad, and I think they tried to stay together for me and Ashley's sake, but no.
Like you wish they hadn't.
No, they didn't. In the long run, they didn't, but they tried for 2 years to work it out. They got back together 3 times.
And those 2 years probably were worse than the 3 following the divorce.
For the next 5 years, honestly, during those 2 years, we went on vacations, and the entire time, all they would do is argue. All they would do is pick at each other. All they would do is find reasons to be mad at one another. I remembered my mom jumped on my dad over the fact that he didn't get enough ice from the ice machine.
It's fine, just go back to the ice machine.
That's what I'm saying. But my mom didn't care. She's just like, you didn't think to get enough for all of it, did you? Well, I guess that's it. They were looking for any reason to fight with each other. Oh,
that's so me if I'm being mad, though.
No, I know. And that's the thing. But here's the thing, Quinn. You could go through that for a day or two and then get over it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like that forever, but
Mom and Dad were like that with each other for over 2 years, and I wanted to literally, that was when I was, emotionally at one of my lowest points, and it wasn't a year later my mom was in that car accident and I was at my literal lowest point. I mean, I remember that like it was yesterday, and I just kept thinking to myself, I was upstairs in my room and I would hear them arguing through the hole that was in the little in the wall, or that went into the we had it very weird. We had a banister with a railing up top.
Yeah.
And you could hear everything that was going on in the kitchen, the living room, and all that. And I would hear that. I would literally shut my door, put the pillows over my ear, curl the pillow around my head like this, and I'd roll over and go to sleep. I couldn't stand to listen to it. That's how sick and tired of it I was.
It's you just don't want to fight around your kids. Like
No.
that's just how it goes.
Well, they didn't fight around. Even if they didn't fight around us,
You don't want them to be in earshot. You don't want them to be able to pick up that energy from like when they're around you together. Like
it's not healthy.
No, it's not.
Anyway, we got Lucifer here. Final episode of season 1. Let's give it a watch. Here we go.
You can't seriously believe I killed that pathetic malcontent.
Doesn't matter what I believe.
What can be proven?
I think this is the grandest joke that I've heard in all my time. The best part is, it's on me!
Kid, be gentle.
Come peacefully. We'll go to the station.
No. Newbie. Come on. Riddle me with bullets so you can go home, drink a nice cold beer, and feel better about yourselves.
Search the area. You can't have gotten far.
A minute? Was it a Menadil?
It had to be. I mean,
Can we not tell anyone you just carried me in your arms like a baby? What are you trying to accomplish in there?
You see that? I don't even see a knife like this. Yeah, I'll take you to the station. Careful, it's crazy sharp.
Well, I mean, it's literally demonic steel, so...
Chloe, Lucifer got into a fight with the deceased just a couple hours ago. We both saw it.
Just hear me out, okay? Just pretend you don't know Lucifer.
I already like it.
Our suspect is a call owner who likes to tell people he's the devil.
You're not really selling his innocence.
He's a man who embraces desire. This isn't him.
But it's a frame job. Who would want to set him up?
I don't know.
Detective. You get some learn weapon.
Okay, test it for Prince and DNA.
Oh, now he knows who it is. He knows.
Lucifer's prints are going to be in that gun. Chloe has gone.
Oh boy. out of ear.
they will be on that gun too.
They will be, yeah.
People have died because of us.
Because of you mean?
Yes, because of me.
Right.
And because of you.
But somehow I lost sight of the bigger picture.
I think the argument is if he hadn't come to like try to get Lucifer to go back and was doing all these shenanigans, it wouldn't have really gotten as far as it did.
This is true, but...
So like, I think Lucifer would have lived pretty peacefully actually if he had not.
But again, Amenadiel has a job to do, get Lucifer back to hell. But at the same time, because of his actions, now innocent people are dying.
Yeah,
and
he's starting to realize this is all kind of bullshit.
Well, it's not really the fact that it's bullshit, it's just his actions and his ways of doing it have not been that of, like, what God would want. Like, God, the basic principle of what God wanted was just get Lucifer back to hell. He didn't say,
Fucking bamboozle Lucifer back into hell.
No, it's like literally...
Use some humans to help you, like...
No, like, literally, like, convince Lucifer to go back to hell. Whereas, what Amenadiel has done is he's literally manipulated humans into doing...
He was too afraid to go back and, like, admit failure, but, like, I'm pretty sure God would have wanted him to try to convince Lucifer, come back and report, and see what to go from there.
I was going to say, God is can be forgiving if you are truly sorry for what you've done.
I would have went back to report what had happened and see if, what guidance he had for me, like, moving forward. I wouldn't have decided to go on my own and do the kind of stuff he did. That's where he messed up.
Yeah. Anyway.
I thought you were the expert at plotting murder. Oh, not so expert, considering I'm still alive.
Which is why I brought us here, so that we could come up with a plan.
Right, but it sounds more like
They
you want
should
me to
probably
sort
close that
everything.
door.
You're stealing my patient.
Not exactly. Actually, you may be just what we need, my dear doctor.
Ha! You deserve that, Dan. And he admits it.
I deserve that.
You lied to me. You don't get to be sorry.
If I could take it all back, I would.
You can't take it back.
He's like, that's what I just said, but...
You can make this right.
Oh, which of course you would never do, would you? How's Maze, by the way?
Dr. Martin, will you please tell him to shut up and just listen to reason?
By reason, you mean a deceptive load of bull...
Enough!
Boys.
You lied to me about being a doctor who was actually your brother. Somehow. Do you realize the ethical position you've put me in? You were gonna make a sexual joke about putting me in a position.
That's true.
Because I have to talk to you. No, see, you're doing it again.
ID, bank account, passport. I know just the person to go to.
She's like, I'm done with this shit.
Good.
Yep.
Every time.
I would, like, not see him anymore.
Okay.
He must be just so interesting that she's like, I really shouldn't, but...
Amenadiel, you know what Amenadiel needs to do just to convince the Doctor? Because the Doctor is in the dark still about the fact that they're both, like, an angel, like, both angels,
Yeah.
but one's literally the devil. And Lucifer, it's hard for him to prove it because he lacks the wings, and the only way he can really prove it is to literally scare the shit out of her with his, like, demonic, like, reveal stuff.
Yeah,
so
but doesn't
Amenadiel just
seeing
needs to stand up and he just be like, Doctor, with all due respect, wings, just,
But-
like, bring the wings out, and she'll just be like,
Would his wings also make her, like, seeing an angel like that? Isn't that going to make her crazy or something? Wasn't that the lore?
I guess so, but at the same time, I think she's so skeptical. Like, well, actually,
I would literally just be like, here, try to cut off my fucking pinky. Do it. Like,
yeah. Like, the wings, okay, maybe not the wings, but something. Something to get to show, because at this point, this therapist is in. This therapist is in deep with both of these guys.
yeah,
And
surprisingly, Lucifer is very open about him being the devil, so, like, at this point...
And she doesn't believe it because
It
the
doesn't
whole
matter.
thing with... Well, the whole thing about her is, like, she doesn't believe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most people who are therapists, philosophical people, you know, they are aware of religious philosophies. Some of them even, like, are fairly religious, but most of them take religion out of the aspect and just look at everything from a human standpoint because, you know, it's philosophy. It's philosophy and, like human growth.
Yeah, like, you have to find a specifically specialized, like, Christian therapist if you want a Christian therapist. Like,
Which you got to worry about, like, the wacko Christian therapists who are just like, conversion therapy. Let's talk.
or, like, if you pray about it, it'll be okay.
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, here's the thing about prayer. Like, prayer
you have to put
is...
in effort. You can't just pray and everything fixes itself.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like those idiots who are just like, oh, you know, even the most evil person in the world, all they gotta do is just get down on their knees and say, please, God, forgive me. And there's like, no, there's a difference. You actually have to be sorry for the shit you've done. And these evil bastards who say, oh, I'm reformed now. I've committed... It's like Charlie Manson when he said that he was a new man when he was reborn as, like, a Christian. It's like, no, you're not. You're not sorry about killing those people. You're still an asshole.
I don't know enough. I mean, I do believe that someone can be that evil and come back from it, but, like...
No, I do too. I believe in
I
second
don't know
chances.
I don't know his specific...
Well, no, he admitted later on, he said it just to, like, try and get people to stop seeing him as a bad person, because in his mind, he doesn't feel like he's a bad person, even though he killed a shit ton of people.
Well, it's not... He just doesn't understand... I feel like he's not able to comprehend why he's a bad person. Like, there's something wrong in his wiring.
Something mentally is, like,
but,
fucked. Something's mentally fucked.
Like, and I feel bad for him. I do, but,
I do too.
like, he cannot live a normal life like that, so...
No, it's just like the sick bastards who murder people, and then if they were... actually, there was one guy in Texas who went to jail for murdering 3 people, and he said, honestly, if they let me out, I'd probably do it again.
I remember
I just
that,
can't
yeah.
control myself.
My thing
and
is...
then they let him out on parole, and he did it again.
I feel bad for people who are not able to control their actions and who end up having to live life in prison because they did these terrible things and maybe they were out of control. But I also firmly believe that they had to at some point take ownership of, like, what is wrong with them and try to get help and need to be put in a safe location if that's what they need.
Well,
like, if they
yeah.
are so out of their mind that they can murder 3 people and not feel bad about it, they just can't live a normal life. And that sucks for them. I feel bad for them. But, like, I'm only so bad if they're not willing to, like, recognize that.
Well,
if
yeah,
that makes sense.
taking responsibility for your actions is something that I have always believed in as, you know, because I preach, like, individual basis.
You can
with a lot of
explain,
stuff.
but you can't excuse.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
like, I'm sorry that I was an asshole to you for my depression doesn't make it okay that you're an asshole to somebody for your depression. Like,
Yeah, it's just like me whenever I was like mentally like compromised a few years ago and I snapped a few times. I apologized to you and I took measure and I.
It didn't
like,
make it okay, but like
no,
it
but
explained it and helped me understand.
I
it.
worked on myself though, and I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, you definitely have improved a lot since I've met you as a person. I have to say that.
Yeah, I've done my damnedest to improve myself when it comes to interacting with others and try and not make everyone feel uncomfortable.
Have you heard the story of, this is my last thing.
Good.
Mary, I can't remember her last name.
Winchester?
No.
What?
Did you just make a supernatural joke at me?
No, Mary Winchester, the woman who went so crazy that she like altered her house to like literally make no sense.
I'm gonna have to read about that.
Oh, it's awesome.
I can't remember her last name, but Mary, and then there was this guy that basically Mary was a 15-year-old hitchhiker. She ran away from home in California, and she, was standing with 3 other people that were trying to get rides. This guy pulls up, like an older dude, like a grandpa-looking dude, and is like, "Hey, I'll give you a ride, but no one else." And they try to tell her no, but she's really tired. She's trying to get home from running away, and so she takes the ride anyway. She realizes they're going the wrong direction and calls him out on it. She goes to tie her shoe so that she can outrun him. He hits her over the head with a fucking sledgehammer. Rapes her all night long. That morning, she's begging, "Please let me go." And he said, "I'll set you free." Took a hatchet and cut off one of her arms while it was gripping him, so it held on to him. He then cut off her other arm, threw her down a 30-foot cliff.
Mm-hmm.
She crawled back up after packing dirt into the wounds.
To stop the bleeding.
And walked like multiple miles to get help. The first car that saw her literally just sped up and kept going, which you can't blame them because she probably looked crazy. But this honeymooning couple found her, got her help. She survived and has 2 like hooks for hands. Literally, this is a real thing. Mary Vincent was her name. And they only put the guy in jail. He got out early for good behavior. He was in jail for 8 years, got out, and killed someone else.
Yeah.
He did such horrible things that everywhere they tried to send him to live when they let him go after 8 years was like, "No, you can't bring him here." There were protests. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and they literally let him out and he murdered again. Feel bad for the dude. He's obviously not mentally well, but he can't live a normal life.
No, he
like,
can't.
He died.
He can't. In truth, here's the thing. I actually would be more than willing to give that man like the proper help that he needs. I'll actually prescribe him I'll prescribe him a certain pill. It's called a lead aspirin, and one to the back of the head will solve all the problems.
Like, how fucked up is that? He literally said, "I'll set you free," and cut off her fucking arms.
Well, yeah, of course. Like people like that don't make any logical sense, and it's just like this one man murdered this poor girl and left her body to rot in the desert, and thing is, he killed her very close to where she lived. Her father found her body. Her father found the body. And her father was there every day, like ever present in the guy's like when he went to court, and he the guy knew he did something wrong, and he asked for the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't give it to him. They gave him life, and then in prison he reformed, and apparently he was living a better life and doing good, and he got released on good behavior 15 years later. But guess who was out there waiting for him? Guess who was waiting for him when he got out?
Her dad.
Yes. And guess what? He didn't take any action. He just made sure to let him know he was always watching him. And he eventually drove this guy so crazy because the father never took any action. He just stood there and watched him.
All the time.
Never stopped. Never fucking stopped. To the point of where the man literally said, the man literally took his own life because he got into scripture and he read that only people who kill themselves are guaranteed a place in hell. The man killed himself, and the last thing he saw before he died was the father of the girl staring at him, and he pulled out a gun, put it to his head, and he cocked it. And he wanted to make sure that man mentally suffered for the rest of his fucking life given what he'd taken from him.
That's fair. In the
father didn't kill himself, by the way. He put the gun to his head and cocked it, and he made sure that the guy was dead, and then he took the gun away and he holstered
that guy's
it.
my idol. But like,
Yeah.
in the fucking trial for this guy that cut off her arm, she went and testified and everything, and they were in the same room. And as she walked out, like after he was sentenced, he literally said, "If it's the last thing I'll do, I'll finish the job." Like but apparently
At that point, if I'm a bailiff, I'm like, all right, fuck this guy.
well, the judge.
And I'd throw the gun down and I'd put my hands up.
The judge literally said that he wanted to give him for life, but in California there was a maximum charge at that time.
Oh, that's right.
And so
because California was the first state to get rid of the death penalty.
But he was actually
Fuck my
the
life.
reason. I'm literally pretty sure there was like a legislature because of this issue.
Yeah.
Where now it's different.
Yeah, now there's life in prison. And the truth is, California was the first state to get rid of the death penalty. I believe in the death penalty to a certain degree. I think that there are some people, like, if a person asks for it, all right, give it to them. Because apparently, you know, if they've done something bad enough and they ask for it, fuck them. They can die for all I care. Call me a heartless bastard if you want.
I hate to tell you some bad news, but after he got out and killed the second girl, he got the death penalty, but then he died of cancer, so.
Well, I hope it lasted him forever, and I hope he didn't get chemotherapy. I hope he suffered every single day.
I would like to note that 15-year-old was a fucking badass.
Yes. If I honestly, I applaud the woman for going through all that and surviving. But at the same time, the fact that bastard was able to live, like
that's bullshit.
An X amount of time passed after he did that to that poor woman and said, if I ever find you again, I'll finish the job. To which, again, if I was the bailiff in that situation, right? I would have literally pulled out my gun and shot him in the head, throw the gun down, and put my hands up waiting to get arrested. Because in all honesty, monsters like that do not deserve to be around the public.
No.
Monsters like that deserve a lead aspirin and no funeral. Like,
I mean,
cremate them and turn them into mortar for bricks.
At the very least, he needs to be in a high security living facility for the rest of his life. I mean,
at least
the fact that they let him out at all fucks with me so hard.
Well, thankfully, laws changed, and that's not happening.
It wasn't even that long ago.
No,
like, she's still alive.
Yeah. This isn't like it was something that happened back in the 30s or 40s. This was like, what?
It was like 60s or 70s, I think.
Jesus, God.
Like, I don't really remember that. I was more concerned about the fact that her arms got cut off than when it happened, to be fair. But I like that story because, like, she's so fucking badass, but also, holy fuck, it wasn't handled well.
No, it was not.
That sucked.
Well, I mean, look, and that's an extreme situation, and in all honesty, the fact that the laws have changed to where that man, if that happened again, would go to prison for the rest of his natural-born life, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I am fucking glad.
So,
Jesus.
I also think it's hilarious that everywhere they tried to let him live when he got out, they wouldn't accept him. Like, he can't be the resident, so he literally got released from prison and had to live on the prison grounds anyway. Like, fuck
Sucks
you,
for
man.
you, fuck boy. All right,
anyway.
Let's get back to this.
Welcome to True Crime.
Where's Lucifer?
Uh-oh.
Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Chloe's like, what the fuck?
If he gets to Malcolm first, he really will go down for murder.
Uh-oh.
You can't come with me. I don't see anybody else backing you up.
Maeve and Chloe.
Not the crossover we were expecting, but I'll take it.
I'll take it too. Gladly.
He fixed my toaster once. Not a BLT goes by, I don't think of Byron. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry. If that was my eulogy...
Just don't fucking come if that's what you're gonna do, like...
What?
I don't want you to come to my funeral if that's what you're gonna say.
No, if anything, I'm just gonna be like, Quinn was an interesting individual. I first knew Quinn by a certain name, but then I knew them by their true name, Quinn. And in all honesty,
and you're like, thank you.
and I'm like, and Quinn, honestly,
Okay, but my favorite memory of you, no joke, is like I came home from the hospital. I was in ICU for multiple days and shit because of bad things that happened. And I walk in and Nate's sitting at the kitchen table and he gets up and he's like, "You fucking scared me," and gives me a hug.
Yeah. You
like,
did.
Fuck you.
You scared the shit out of me.
Like you were aggressively caring.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, did I give you a hug?
You gave me a hug, but you were also like, "You fucking scared me."
Yeah, you did. You scared the fucking shit out of me.
And I'm not like a hug person, but I let it happen because I deserved it, I guess.
Yeah. Allow me to aggressively hug you and berate you for scaring me.
It was really good.
This is disrespectful. No, this is disrespectful. I mean, this whole show. Who's it for, really? Eh? Not him. He's not hearing any of this. Do you back me up, please, bro?
He is right.
See? Goes for you, isn't it? The best. And Malcolm Graham does as well.
The cop, yeah. He needed it to be done fast, but said he needed time to get his hands on the 100K.
But we're a homicide detective, get that kind of money quickly.
Evidence locker.
I wish I had my knives. You're not gonna need them. I never need them. LAPD, Malcolm.
Good shit, Mace.
Chloe just goes with it at this point.
There's a problem with this door.
LAPD, Malcolm.
Watch the where's the deadbolt?
Well,
it's a prop door made to be kicked open to like look the part. But at least put a fake deadbolt in
like
there.
A little shiny thing at least.
Yeah, a little plate in there, make it look like it's a deadbolt. But oh well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would not have noticed that.
Hello?
Me building
here?
buildings and everything with Jacob and Roan, I noticed more and more of this
Must
shit.
make a lot of money. You hiring? No, really. Why?
Because I hate when people get away with things they shouldn't.
And you like to shoot people?
Yeah.
Damn.
And to think I almost killed you in your sleep that one time.
Woo! Mal?
Oh, now I know why he likes working with you.
Maze, not the time to flirt.
Please tell me he's not with you.
Big old feather plopped on top of her head.
Sorry, I thought you were my husband as she
Ever
puts down a
since he
gun.
almost died, he...
Don't move, or wobbly head gets it.
There's a manhunt for you. A drug dealer named Tommy Campbellongo works out there.
Not that complicated after all.
So you two will stay in a holding cell, huh?
Nope.
How did they not believe him yet? Like,
Chloe, don't go.
Can't tell her to not go, man. It's Chloe we're talking about. And she's got Maze with her.
What do you say we skip the time slow shenanigans?
What about the mortality situation?
What is kind of nonsense when the detectives are around? I'll explain later. But for now, we'll just enjoy the moment.
Uh-oh.
Right, I should warn you. This is hardly a fair fight.
Yeah, about that.
Sorry, bro, genuine mistakes.
Gun down, hands up. Bruh.
Okay, but no hogging all the fun if you find him first. Deal?
Deal.
Night, night. Oh.
I mean, wow.
One of mine.
Yes.
I'll handle this.
How?
Fine.
Pleasure.
Go. Aha. We took away his money.
Don't move.
Oh boy.
Are you going to heaven or hell?
I know exactly where you're going. Nowhere. You're staying right here. Now shut up and let me help you.
Oh.
There's nothing that you can do.
I'm sorry, but I can't help but make the joke. Like, if you'd have started the scene right here without seeing the feather. Wow.
I didn't even think of it that way.
It's like,
Fucking
wow.
sick.
That Brazilian wax job really is the best.
Nice and shiny.
I'm sorry. Blame my brain, which is still kind of stuck in adolescence.
Dan says he has it handled. You do, right?
I do. I'm ready to turn myself in.
What are you doing?
Whoa.
I believe Detective Graham didn't use that weapon to shoot and kill Jacob Williams. The crime that Mr. Morningstar is suspected of.
Wow.
Damn.
Detective Espinosa. I didn't know you had the stones.
Damn. Well. There you go. Oh no.
Hey, honey.
I still have a few buddies at the station. Oh, and I made a new friend today, too. Pulled her out of a boring class for some bonding time. Here, say hi.
Hey, Mommy.
You never know who you can trust.
We've actually been waiting months for us to use it, so on second thought, please speed away.
What are you doing?
Well, I could ask you this.
I realize how bad this can go, but I don't have a choice. This is my daughter. Promise me you'll let me go alone.
Fine. You have my word.
I'll let you go alone, but that doesn't
He didn't
mean...
say he wouldn't follow.
This is true. This is very, very true.
He loves her too much.
Yeah.
The other one.
Ankle. Yep, the backup.
There, you happy?
Uh-oh.
Is this really what you did with your second chance? Dearing me, Malcolm. Pathetic.
Hey, Lucifer. Hey, buddy. Long time no frame. Though that didn't stick too well, did it?
You got to live, don't you?
I do. More than almost think.
Almost.
Oof.
Just one more thing.
I wonder if you can even hear me. But if you're up there, Dad, I need a favor. I'll do as you ask. Go where you want me to. In exchange,
Keep Chloe safe.
say protect her.
Yeah. say, is hell frozen over?
Sweet. What's happened? This is impossible. Hello, Malky. It doesn't matter. I've got your coin. I'll be back. You're looking for this? I know a guy. Apparently he wants me back here.
Ooh.
I thought he killed you.
Oh, he did? Yes. I got better.
You promised you'd let me go alone.
True. But didn't say anything about following.
Ah.
Isn't it past her bedtime?
Does she have a bedtime today? Better get that girl some chocolate cake.
I spoke to Dad.
Excuse me?
I offered him my services in exchange for... Well, that doesn't really matter. He accepted.
He replied to you.
Well, not in words, but his message was clear.
And what does Father want?
Someone's escaped from hell. Must have seen a window of opportunity whilst you were incapacitated. I think he wants me to bring our jailbird back.
Yes, sir. Well, it shouldn't be too hard to track down a single errant soul. You're afraid.
It's because he knows who it is.
Damn right I am.
Right, but you're never afraid. Who could possibly scare you, brother? Who escaped hell?
Mum.
Huh? Huh?
Is there a mom?
I was gonna say, is he speaking of Lilith? Is he speaking of, like, the... You know, the...
Oh, I'm into Lilith being brought in. That'd be cool.
Ooh. I don't know who they're talking about, but damn.
But when I think of Lilith, my image of Lilith in my head is actually the little girl from Supernatural that Lilith took her body.
Yeah. The Lilith in my mind, I see from Evangelion.
Or I see the Magic the Gathering Lilith.
Yeah. I see from Evangelion, Lilith is like one of not gonna say the bad guys, but instead is like carrying out God's will and just like destroying the planet, or like pretty much causing the extinction of humanity.
General chaos.
Yes, yeah. And the thing is, I don't know. So Lucifer went back to hell for a little bit, but apparently
just long enough to show him something.
Mm-hmm.
And hell has froze over, apparently.
Oh, yes. Well, it depends on the image of hell that you have, because, in truth, the deepest circle of hell, according to Dante's Inferno, is literally you are frozen forever, and, it's basically, the lowest circle of hell is for the worst of sinners.
I don't know why in my head, I don't know where this is from, maybe you'll know. Maybe I came up with it, but, like, for my whole life, when I picture hell, I imagine, like, basically think of, like, in Castlevania, the, like, infinite portal, but, like, it's more circular, and there's just doors everywhere. When you open them, it's different people living their worst nightmare inside of them.
My image of hell, probably, like, the most, like, vivid imagery of hell that, to me, is... like the one that scares me the most, and the one that is like they actually visually brought to life pretty well, was from the Keanu Reeves version of Constantine. I don't know if you remember that.
I haven't seen it.
I'll show you that scene from hell. I don't know if I'll
I
be
just
able to
imagine
show it on
everybody
here.
has their own room in hell. In that room, they're being tortured or like whatever they're afraid of. I guess.
Here we are. Yeah. Constantine going to hell. So, the thing is, this is, like, right here, you know, he's in hell, and you actually see the masses underneath, like, as he's walking through hell, the masses, I'll show this part, the masses of like, souls just ripping each other to pieces, and the imps just going around stabbing them. Just, yeah.
I definitely remember as a kid, like, I guess younger than when I got the door thing, was like, I thought that when you went to hell, you'd basically be like that, where you'd be fighting for your life, like, the whole time you're there.
Yes. Well, in truth...
Like, it was a fucking pit, basically.
Yeah, it's basically you're burning forever in darkness, and...
Everyone's trying to kill you.
Everyone, like, and you can't die. Because you're, like, it's your soul that's basically there, and you can't, like, there's no way for you to live.
Man, I'm so glad I don't believe in hell. That's gonna bite me in the ass later, then, maybe.
Well, I believe in hell. I just don't know which interpretation of hell is real. Because the truth is, you know, a lot of people go to Dante's Inferno, a lot of people, like, go back to the Old Testament, a lot of people go to, like, Orthodox, Judaism, you know, everyone has their own interpretation of, like, the afterlife. And in all honesty, hell does terrify me. But, again, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect going into the afterlife. But
I like to think it just stops.
Well, if it just stops, then that's basically like the secular viewpoint is like
you just no longer exist, so like you won't know when you die. Like,
you're gonna know like when you die because your string of consciousness is going to end. However, after your string of consciousness ends, then
I don't like talking about this. It makes me anxious.
Oh, I know.
Because I'm like, okay, so at a certain point you die. Is there a cutoff? Like trying to imagine not being able to imagine anymore at some point is impossible.
No, I know. It's a terrifying, like, just everything stops. Like, everything goes black. That's like the base theory that a lot of seculars
have. But how long
have.
are you aware that, that's the part that gets me.
Well,
are you aware that it's black?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you think about how do we define life? How do we define, like, consciousness? We define it by, basically, what has happened, like what is happening now. String of consciousness, like what we're doing right now. But there are times when that consciousness breaks, when we're not aware, and it's when we go to sleep.
I mean, maybe when you die, you just dream for the rest of your life.
I don't know. Maybe that's what heaven is.
That wouldn't be so bad.
Maybe that's what heaven is. Maybe heaven is an eternal dream. I don't know. I mean, maybe in our last moments, those moments last for an eternity, and we just dream forever. I don't know.
Maybe going to hell just means that you are haunted by what happened to you and you have nightmares or like what you did.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe
you
see all the
like you had a decent life and everything you did was correct and so you have happy dreams.
Yes.
But because you killed somebody, now all you're going to dream about is horrible things because you feel guilty internally.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's where it came from. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe you literally just dream and it's not real.
I don't know. But
I like this little theory that we've come up with. Someone will ruin it in the comments.
Oh no, I know they will. I mean, there's a theologian or a friggin' like philosophy major who's just gonna be like, oh, what you're talking about is bullshit. String of human consciousness, free will. Humans don't have free will. It's just like, well, you can't really prove that. I mean, there's people out there. I've heard people say, humanity, human beings don't actually have free will, and I'm just like, do we though?
The hard thing about religion and everything is everyone believes that they're right, and that's cool. But if you can't prove something, who are you to think that someone's an asshole for not believing the same?
Well, no. Here's the thing. I'll admit this outright. I am a Christian, but at the same time, I'm not gonna proselytize.
You can't be a dick to me because I don't believe it because you can't prove it to me. It's not like 100%.
That's not.
I can tell you this and you'll believe it.
Well, that's not the thing. Well, that's the thing about religion. That's the thing about faith. It's something that you have. It's a personal thing with you. Everyone has faith in different things. Like, I know there's people out there who have faith in, certain systems. People have faith in, like, the Hollywood system of filmmaking. People have faith in biology. People have faith in a lot of things. And often that faith is misplaced. When it comes to religion, it's basically the same thing. People have all this faith and all these ideas that they believe are true. And, you know, they believe it in their hearts. And they feel like, oh, I need to speak this word to everyone else and make everyone else believe the same as I do. Because only then they'll be as happy as I am. It's like, that's not how it works. That is not how that works.
You cannot prove without any doubt, and, like, to someone else that doesn't believe the same, that is the way they have to think.
And again, it comes down to the whole argument me and Jacob have had multiple times. Jacob, by the way, you know, who records with us on the channel, is an atheist. Like he's bona fide in his thought process. And me and him, basically, we've come down to the same exact conclusion. He cannot prove that God does not exist, and I cannot prove that God does exist. The truth is,
guys just get to have your own fucking religions, and that's fine.
Well, we get to have our own. We get to have our own thought processes, and we aren't offended by each other's ideals because, number one, this is America, motherfucker. This is freedom of religion. Also, number two, just because someone doesn't believe the same thing I do does not mean that they are entitled to believe in what they want to. I mean, this isn't the days of yore where, you know, the Spanish Inquisition. Hey, make sure you're still a Catholic, otherwise we'll come back and we'll literally stretch you and freaking kill you and, like, massacre you. No, this isn't, like, we aren't the Spanish Inquisition. I mean, like, religion, like, I guarantee you, if Christ was there and saw what the Spanish Inquisition did, he would be like, what are you doing? This is, well, okay,
we
first
just kind
off,
of watched that happen in Lucifer, actually. Like, someone believes that they're right, and they do something that's stupid, and then the higher being is like, the fuck are you doing? I would have never wanted that. That literally happened in the show.
Yeah, it happened in the last episode. And that's the other thing about, and that's the thing, I mean, like, because I guarantee you, like I was talking about with my hypothetical, was like, if Christ was just like, what are you doing? It's like, we're doing this for you, we're trying to guarantee that people believe. It's just like, what is one of the very first commandments in the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not kill. What are you doing? Like, you're violating the baseline of the friggin' religion that you're claiming to be a part of. It's like, I am killing people in the name of God. No, you're not. Don't bring God into this, you idiot.
Now you've gotten me started because you mentioned that America allows freedom of religion, and it should, but we don't have the separation of church and state that we're supposed to.
Oh, we kind of do. I mean,
no, because the reason that certain things are illegal is because in Christianity it's wrong.
No, in truth, it's because that plus Surgeon General plus, like, multiple facets. And the thing is,
I'm not just talking about abortion.
No, I'm talking about cannabis.
Okay, well, yeah, we can use that as an example.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. It's not just that. You know why it was made illegal, right? It wasn't because of religious zealots. It was because the U.S. government couldn't tax it.
I don't know. They can figure that out.
No, that's the truth. I mean, honestly, you ever wonder where the term marijuana comes from? It's literally a term the U.S. government made up to make cannabis sound Mexican because when we made it illegal, it was the turn of the century, and our biggest rival at that time, right after the Spanish-American War, was Mexico.
Okay, so here was my point.
Go ahead.
The reason I do not fully think that we have freedom of religion here is because literally in the 2010s is when gay marriage became legal. Why? Because in the Bible it says that gay people can't get married. It's not a thing.
Well, I mean, as time has moved
forward... So they were forced into Christian values by not being allowed to get married.
Well, Quinn, again, the thing is, like, marriage is, like, the whole thing with marriage is that you don't have to believe in Christianity. And plus, the state, honestly, giving out the right to be married, I mean, civil unions, which are legal marriages, have been given out since the 60s. And in all honesty...
But only, like, I'm talking nationally. I was in, like, high school when that happened.
Well, yeah, in truth, I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that, like, okay, I'm a Christian, but I believe that gays have the right to get married just like anyone else. And the thing is, marriage is not just a Christian thing. Marriage is, like, literally what anyone wants to make it.
But in the United States, they were making it to where it could only be what the Christians valued as marriage.
I know, and that's the thing. I mean,
and that's why we did not have separation
that's why
of church and state.
Look, and as the thing, here's the thing, Quinn. As we have moved forward as a society, in certain ways, we have gotten more secular, and the separation of church and state has become a lot more apparent.
It's getting better. I will give it that.
Oh, it's pretty much nil at this point.
It's not done.
In what way?
I'm not going to talk about that one on camera because
Okay.
I just don't want to start a whole thing.
Hold on. Well, okay, we'll talk more about it after we're done recording this. But for now, yeah, we're gonna end the recording here, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you all enjoyed. This was Lucifer,
Whatever the hell this turned
season
into.
1 finale. Take Me Back to Hell. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you all in the start of season 2 next time. So until then, I'm Nate.
I'm Quinn.
We'll see you then. Peace out.